Now, Democrats are now openly rooting against President Trump and America. Wait until you hear this shocking comment from former CIA Director John Brennan. Take a listen.
I'm also wary of taking the word of Iran. Like, they are an authoritarian regime who's known to lie. But, like, I'm confused. What is going on? Help me. Calm me down.
Well, I tend to believe Iran more than I do Donald Trump,
crazy.
because he could not acknowledge the truth, even when it is, he's slapped in the face with it repeatedly.
I believe Iran more. NBC must be so proud. And then, of course, the congenital liar, Adam Schiff, weighed in and tried to throw cold water on negotiations with Iran, claiming President Trump was only talking about negotiations to lower gas prices. Take a look.
I'd love to see this war come to an end, and if what the president's saying is true, that's encouraging. But of course, we've heard the president say things that are proved to be completely untrue in the past, so we really don't know what to believe, whether these talks are serious, whether they're close to any agreement, or whether this is Donald Trump just trying to bring down the price at the pump.
And most everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. We learned that, during his witch hunt after witch hunt and Russia hoax. Now, sadly, this is par for the course for modern-day radical leftist Democrats. They have lost their conscience, their heart, and their soul. And that was never more clear than during President Trump's joint address to Congress. They wouldn't stand for the families of Lake and Riley, Jocelyn Nungaray, and they wouldn't stand with the simple premise and principle that the first role of government is to protect American citizens, not illegal immigrants. And of course, they have their insane sanctuary policies. It is costing American citizens their lives. For example, Sheridan Gorman, 18-year-old freshman, Loyola University in Chicago, murdered by a Biden-Harris Mayorkas illegal. She should be alive today. But for 4 straight years, Democrats, the Biden administration, they allowed over 12 million unvetted illegal immigrants from over 200 countries, among them known terrorists, murderers, rapists, child molesters, drug dealers, gang members, and others all across our southern border. And those who enabled this, the entire party, they sat idly by. The border's closed, the border's secure, or they said nothing. And those are the same people pushing these insane sanctuary state, city policies. As I said then, I'll repeat it today, they all have blood on their hands. President Trump is working tirelessly to clean up what was the most preventable national security disaster in history, and he's getting no help from any Democrat. They're just too busy throwing one temper tantrum after another about ICE. Now, we're learning more disturbing details about the suspect in Sheridan Gorman's murder. DHS has now confirmed he is an illegal immigrant from Venezuela, apprehended at the border, but later released by Biden's DHS. This was during Biden's presidency. Not only was he released after crossing the border, but then he was actually arrested 1 month later. So he's in the country illegally. He's here a month. He's caught shoplifting in Chicago. And of course, he was released right back into the city, not deported. This 18-year-old girl should be alive today. The left needs to take accountability for their insane sanctuary policies that are now putting American lives at risk, but they won't do that. Instead, they are rushing to make excuses for the suspect. Take a look at this one Chicago alderwoman. Listen to what she says. Wrong place, wrong time. Listen.
You know, people go out to the beach all the time, right? And they go out on the pier, they walk around. So the kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally. But that's all we know.
The left blaming the victim. Everyone present at the time said this was a cold-blooded murder. The only person in the wrong place at the wrong time was this Biden-Harris, Mayorkas, radical Democrat illegal who never should have been in our country in the first place. And thanks to Chicago's insane sanctuary city policy, well, he still was not removed, even after being arrested. Then Chicago mayor, another idiot, Brandon Johnson, had a chance to take accountability for the damage that his city's sanctuary status is causing. But, of course, he refused. Take a look.
That suspect would not be in the city, would not be in the country, but for your policies Will you take this opportunity to apologize?
Well, again, I
to
believe
Sheridan's
that
family?
we're all grieving the loss of Sheridan and other folks who have lost their lives because of senseless violence.
And of course, silence deafening from the idiotic governor in that state, J.B. Pritzker.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.